Good evening, scholars, readers, and lovers of literature. Today, we are entering one of the most misunderstood territories in literary studies, the difference between magic realism and high fantasy. Many readers assume that if a novel contains magic, supernatural events, impossible creatures, or strange realities, then all such works belong to the same literary category.
But academically, this assumption is deeply inaccurate.
The magical world of 100 Years of Solitude is fundamentally different from the epic universe of The Lord of the Rings. Why? Because the purpose of magic, the structure of reality, the narrative attitude, and even the philosophical worldview behind these texts are entirely different. Today's lecture will explore what is magic realism, what is high fantasy, why they are not interchangeable genres, how Gabriel García Márquez and J.R.R. Tolkien represent two radically different literary traditions. We will also examine the political, cultural, and philosophical implications of both modes, and why understanding this distinction is essential for serious literary criticism. So prepare yourselves, because by the end of this lecture, you will never confuse magic realism with fantasy again. Let us begin with the confusion itself. A student reads a novel where ghosts appear, people levitate, time behaves strangely, and impossible events occur. Immediately they say, "Oh, this is fantasy." Academically, however, this is insufficient, because literature does not classify texts merely by the presence of magic. The function of magic matters more than the magic itself. This is the key distinction. A dragon in fantasy and a ghost in magic realism may both be supernatural, but they operate according to completely different literary logics. Fantasy asks, what if another world existed? Magic realism asks, what if the impossible already exists within ordinary reality? That single distinction changes everything.
Let us first define high fantasy.
High fantasy is a genre in which the story occurs in a fully separate fictional world governed by its own laws, histories, races, geographies, mythologies, and systems of magic. The classic example is The Lord of the Rings. In Tolkien's work, we enter Middle-earth, a fictional geography, fictional languages, fictional races, fictional cosmology, fictional history. This world is entirely detached from ordinary reality. Tolkien even created elvish languages, mythological genealogies, maps, legends, and political histories. Fantasy therefore constructs an alternative universe. Magic in fantasy is systematic. It has rules. Wizards possess identifiable powers. Artifacts possess specific functions. Creatures belong to established mythological categories. Fantasy is world building. The reader enters a secondary reality. Tolkien himself called this process subcreation. The fantasy writer becomes a creator of worlds. High fantasy usually contains epic quests, battles between good and evil, heroic protagonists, mythic journeys, invented cosmologies, clear supernatural systems. The narrative often emphasizes adventure, destiny, heroism, and moral struggle. Fantasy is outwardly expansive. It enlarges reality. One of the most important aspects of Tolkienian fantasy is escapism. Now notice carefully. Modern critics often use the word escape negatively, but Tolkien defended it. For Tolkien, fantasy allows readers to temporarily escape industrial modernity, mechanization, and spiritual emptiness. Fantasy restores wonder. It reconnects humanity with myth. This is why Tolkien's work feels ancient, epic, and legendary. Its roots lie in Norse mythology, Anglo-Saxon literature, medieval romance, Christian symbolism. Fantasy therefore creates transcendence through separation from reality. Now let us move to magic realism. Magic realism does not create another world. Instead, it transforms the ordinary world itself.
The foundational figure here is Gabriel García Márquez, especially in 100 Years of Solitude.
In this novel, ghosts walk naturally among the living. A girl ascends physically into heaven. Insomnia erases collective memory. Time repeats itself. Miracles occur casually. But here is the crucial point. Nobody is shocked. The characters accept these events as ordinary. That is the essence of magic realism. In fantasy, magic is extraordinary. In magic realism, magic is normalized. The narration remains calm, realistic, and emotionally neutral even when impossible things occur. This creates a strange tension. The magical enters reality without disturbing it. The supernatural is treated with the same seriousness as everyday life.
This blending produces the unique atmosphere of magic realism. Magic realism emerged strongly in Latin American literature. Why there specifically?
Because Latin American reality itself contained contradictions. Colonial violence, indigenous mythologies, political corruption, dictatorships, religious mysticism, and economic inequality.
Reality already felt surreal. Therefore, magic realism became a literary mode capable of expressing societies where rational logic could not fully explain lived experience. This is extremely important academically. Magic realism is not simply aesthetic decoration, it is political and cultural. European realism claimed that reality should be rational, empirical, and scientifically explainable. Magic realism challenges this assumption. It says, reality is larger than Western rationalism. Dreams, myths, spirits, folklore, superstition, memory, and indigenous belief systems are also part of reality. Thus, magic realism becomes a form of resistance against colonial intellectual domination. This is why scholars often connect magic realism with post-colonial studies. Cultural hybridity, political critique, historical trauma. Fantasy generally escapes reality. Magic realism confronts reality. That is one of the biggest differences.
Now let us directly compare J.R.R. Tolkien and Gabriel García Márquez. This comparison clarifies the academic boundary perfectly.
Tolkien creates a separate universe. Middle-earth is detached from ordinary reality. Marquez uses the real world. Macondo resembles Latin American historical reality. The magical exists inside reality.
Tolkien uses magic to create mythic adventure. It expands imagination. Marquez uses magic to reveal hidden truths about history, memory, politics, and identity. It exposes reality rather than escaping it.
Tolkien's readers know they are entering a fictional fantasy world. Marquez's readers remain anchored in recognizable reality even when impossible events occur.
Tolkien presents magic as wondrous and exceptional. Marquez narrates magic casually and matter-of-factly. No dramatic explanation is required.
Fantasy leaves reality behind. Magic realism deepens reality. This distinction becomes even deeper philosophically.
Fantasy asks, what other worlds are possible? Fantasy is imaginative expansion. Fantasy invents alternative realities.
Magic realism asks, what hidden dimensions already exist within this world? Magic realism is ontological disruption. Magic realism destabilizes reality itself.
One dangerous misconception is calling every strange novel magical realism. This has become common in popular criticism.
But academically, magic realism is highly specific. Not every supernatural story qualifies. A novel with dragons, magical schools, and invented kingdoms is fantasy.
A novel where reality itself quietly absorbs the impossible without explanation may be magic realism.
The distinction is methodological. Why should literature students care? Because genres are not merely labels. Genres reflect philosophies of reality. Understanding the distinction helps us understand colonial history, cultural identity, narrative theory, realism, mythology, and political aesthetics. When we confuse magic realism with fantasy, we erase the historical and cultural significance of Latin American literary innovation. That is a serious academic mistake. So let us conclude. Fantasy and magic realism are not interchangeable genres. They may both contain supernatural events, but they differ fundamentally. They differ in worldview, narrative structure, philosophical purpose, relationship to reality, and political implications. Tolkien creates worlds beyond reality. Marquez transforms reality from within. Fantasy says, enter another world. Magic realism says, look again at this world. And perhaps that is the most important insight of all. Because the greatest literature does not merely help us escape reality. Sometimes, it teaches us to see reality differently. If you enjoyed this lecture, subscribe for more deep explorations into literary theory, narrative structures, genre studies, and critical analysis. Like this video, share it with fellow literature students, and help build a community dedicated to deeper critical thinking and literary analysis.